Hello again, this is Old Man PHP. I create PHP video tutorials for the old guys who want to learn a new skill and compete with the young crowd. This is video 85. In this video, I want to show you how to create pagination. This separates groups of content into multiple pages. Something that I wanted to talk about the last time when I did the the border color template website. It will call itself displaying the next set of records. So it looks like the data displays to the same page like using AJAX, but it's not, because it's going to call itself again. Basically, it's like a separate page. I will show you on the next set of videos how to use the AJAX to display the records without calling the actual file. So basically it'll stay still, like right here, like this, and the moment you press these buttons, this will stay. But in this case, for this particular, we're going to be using separate pages, and you'll see right here in the query string when that when things changes when you hit these buttons here, which represents everything. So right now I'm using this 28 records. So of course, you're going to get just 7 pages because I timed it by 4, and that's why you only see 4 stuff. That's it. You only see 4, as you can see. Now, the pagination typically takes the form of a horizontal list of numbers, as you can see, right? So like if I had, like, let me see, what's 28, 29, 30, 30, let's say 32 other ones, it'll be an 8 page because it'll calculate on its own, but I'll show you in a second how it does it. So it gives you a list of numbers, right, linking to each page with buttons to navigate forward, and this is like the forward here and backwards, and this is to jump to the first one, this was to jump to the last one, and it's great stuff. Something I should have done before, but you could add it to this particular website. See the study border right now in this particular website, which was the template. I added all kinds of little features that you could use as a. I should have just added the pagination. Where, let me see. Let's see if we get to the bottom. Oh, look, you get the videos. Let's get to the bottom of this. I got the different websites. This is will work actually, but my as using the old Java, and I just don't know why sometimes it shows and sometimes, but it will work for real in your live production. I'll show you how that's done. I think I already did a video on that. Maybe it was the last one. Maybe it was the last 2 of them. Man, I just can't remember. But it's all there. But anyway, I wanted to add the pagination. Like, let's say we could put it like down here. Let's see. Why is this taking so long just to get to where I want? You got the 2 different, the carousel. Remember that, a slider, the tabs. One is a contact form, another one. Remember that one? So I thought I could have, remember the customers. So I think I could have just put it right down here. But I figured because I wanted for it to jump back into this right away, I took all this crap out and then just created this one. It's the same thing, as you can see. I took out the second menu sets of options, which I didn't feel like I needed to show you because you know what to do anyway. If you needed to add that to the template, the stuff, you could do it. I just wanted to show you in a separate page, right? And it's a good idea to do that anyway, just for a while, and you can test your stuff out, and you can just get it. So pagination makes it easier for user to transverse through the whole database. So if you got like 100, you'll see like a bunch of numbers reaching, and it's a good idea to bounce. So you can even put out other stuff too. You can even hit like number 3, like for instance right now, number 3. and you can kind of put it right here. Right now it's showing you that it's saying that it's one of the 7 pages that we just checked out, which is number 3. Well, you can even add something here indicating page 3 if you wanted to, and stuff like that. Maybe by the time I send this stuff out, I'll add it. Now, this is why it is a good idea to learn it, add it to your template file if needed. You know, sometimes you're not creating websites for database, and if you are doing internal stuff like intranet stuff, like company stuff, then because you know other departments need to check out different data and stuff like that, then you learn this really well. Learn it anyway, but you can add it to your template if you want to, or take all the other crap out and just have this, and then maybe add some other stuff, anything that got to do with a database. Man, I can't believe it. There's these people were supposed to. I apologize for the noise. I wonder if they picked the wrong time. They started at the very end and now they're coming down over here. Oh, they're just cleaning. Okay, that's all right. So anyway, I'm using the remember from the PDO's fetchAll full with a qualifier. Remember with the fetchAll. Let me show you right now. You know, before we jump into that fetchAll thing, this is the actual website, right? I added a require. Now remember I showed you before how you can log into a database with a credential, and if everything works out, it just keeps going. This require once, it just says just do it one time. So I need it for one time. I'm not gonna call this lots of times, just for different types of things, you know, just one time. That's all you need. It stays in the memory and you can use it, okay? And the same thing with this one. This is make pagination is the actual page itself when it bounces. Like right now, it'll use that one time page. Let me see if I have it here. Actually, I do have it here. Let's see. There it goes. You're calling it, right? It says, look, it's using the function my connect, because this stuff is under here, right? So it's using it. Let's get there. You know, so, and of course you want to, add a 0 to your start, because that's where you're going to start at. And of course you want 4, right? You want 4 lines. You want 5 lines, 6 lines. You just have to change this right here, right? And then what I'm doing here is I'm selecting everything, right? Everything, because I want to do a count. I want to see how much we have, right? And what happens is we're going to use that to calculate stuff later. But I don't want to jump into it right away, because I wanted to show you that this is the actual website, which happens to be this, which on the description I'm going to remember. I told you I'm going to give it to you as a PHP, but I also want to give it to you as a TXT file, so you can grab it and play around. But anyway, this is what it looks like, and I think you've seen this before, but I'll go a little slower so you can see, right? You got the meta and the viewpoint. This is for when you want to make this for different devices with, right? And of course I added, this is just to remember, you don't need to do all this stuff. You can just get rid of some of these things. I'm just giving it to you so you have it. One day you're going to say, what was that awesome link? I need that CDN one. Oh, here it goes. I got it right here. Because you're going to be using it. That's what gave you these little icons right here. Okay? But I also did a CSS, right, which is also an external link to it. So you're not using it too much for this stuff, because it only for some of this. But if you had all kinds of stuff from the template, of course you're going to need that. And then of course I created what is that? An embedded style sheet under the header. Right here you can see it's the head. This is the end of the head. Where is it? And that's where you put all your information, all your meta stuff you put here, and all the CSS that you're going to use, you put it here. This is just to give you this look right here, okay? And CSS, I'm not going to show you everything, but if you can use this, and then what you do is open it up and say, okay, let me see what this does and all that. And you know, probably on the next, not next one here, because I just want to keep up with the PHP stuff for a little while, because I want to do the AJAX and I want to jump into object-oriented programming, basics anyway, so that way you can understand it, because that's a good way of doing it. You should start learning it anyway, because you probably will be doing a lot of that anyway, or maybe not. You know, some projects you can just do it this way, the way we did it. Some projects going to want the OOP, which be the PHP part, not this part. It's always going to be CSS and HTML stuff, right? And that's what the presentation, that's what gives you that look, right? Anyway, so this is the body, right? Now remember, before I showed you that already, how you get the header and how you get your the logo and the menu. This is creating dynamically. This is not. This is just hard coded right into it. And this is will be the dynamic. I showed you how to do that already. So what I did was I took everything from the template, not everything, just this part, and kind of copied it into this file, so that way you can play around with it. Number 6 means that I want to see everything here, and then when you get down to the footer, as you can see, there's no footer right here. That's going to give, if you put a 5, that's, which is, where is it? Oh, I put it under here, under this file. I'll give you this anyway too, so you can have them. And I'll give you this, yes, this JavaScript stuff, and this, I'll give you that. This you're gonna have from the other website, from the border color template. It's all gonna be there. So I'll probably on this description, I'm not gonna add it. Just have to go to that video and just get it down. You don't even have to look at the video, just go down to the description and you get it. Anyway, what that happens is if you add the 5, you won't get that last one. It just keeps the 6. Because it starts from 0 to 5. That's what 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Watch this one, what was it? 6. Oh yeah, 6, and then the other one will be 7. I just want it. This will be 6, and then of course you want here 7, and that's what that is. And that's why you get this number. Where is it? Here it goes right here, which is really 0 to 7. Because we're using index, so it's really 7. 0 to 7. That's what it's telling you. That's all. Anyway, it does that, gives you this, just gives you these 2. That's all. No big deals. This is not part of what I'm trying to show you. Then of course you come to your pagination, right? This is what this is. H1. And this crap. This is the total pages that you're getting from the actual this file right here. You're gonna see it in a second. Okay, let's get here. So I don't mean to make people like, oh, I'm dizzy, you keep going up and down. I'm sorry, it's just trying to show that this. If I wanted to show you this in detail, then I would have done that now in this video, but I'm not going to do that because I've done that already. I'm just going straight real quick just to get to the part that I want to show you, which is this part. Alright, so then and plus this little computer is kind of small screen, so I kind of have to break it down so stupidly, I don't know. Anyway, that's what this is, right? And what I did was I started now. Remember, everything is boxes. This one is called class of pagination. Right here, class of pagination. From here to here is the class of pagination. Actually, from here all the way down here. Where is it? Right here, see? From here on, it's class of pagination because everything is boxes, right? From here on. And what this whole thing here is for what it gives you this, all right? CSS is what breaks it down into little boxes. And what I did was on that first one, let's say right here, see where it says first? Now remember, I'm using pages. So basically right now I'm in the first page, or right now I'm in the last page, right? So let's say if I wanted to go to the first page, I just hit this. See how it changed this here to number 1? If I wanted to go to the second page, boom, it changed this to number 2. And so on and so on to it hits numbers. So if I went to the last, gives you 7. If I went back to the first, gives you 1. And if I want to go one to the next one. See how it jumps to 2, 3, 4. That's what this does. This whole thing here from here on to here. But what it does is that it calls itself. First it finds out what this is. See this get page num? That's what this is. Please get me this. It's basically telling you, please get me this page number, which happens to be this. And that's what this is. It'll pop up right in here. It'll pop up right in there. So if you kind of go, if you see, let me see if I can, I don't know, let's see if I can make this go a little up, or man, how do I do that without destroying my whole setup? I guess I can go like this. So if you went like this and you wanted to hit previous, see how you see the bottom right here where it says convert to WordPress style, make test drive, and then you have a page, which is actually what this is. So if you put your hand, if you put the cursor right down there, you see it. See at the bottom? That means you the next one is 5, because this happens to be 5. So that's why it's a good idea to maybe I'll put it in. Maybe I'll do that for you anyway. So if you went to number 2, right, which is this 2, and you went like this, see number 2, but the previous one tells me, oh, please take me to number 1, because you want 2. But if you want 3, please take me to number 2. You see it right down there? I wish this could stay. No, it won't. But anyway, you see it down there. And what happens is it calls itself, that's why you see this changes. It calls itself and it gives you the next page when you hit this, and when you hit the 5, it doesn't. And that's what this does. So it goes like this, and now you're embedding the PHP right into it, right? You say, oh, look, this is number 1, and then is it equal to number 1? Yes, it is, blah, blah, blah. And then if it's greater than number 1, then I want you to, that's what this thing is. And what happens is, remember what I told you is all indexed, that's why you see -1, because it jumps over 1. So if you're number 5 and you want to see previous, that's why it shows you minus, what was it, 4. And if you're on 4, it gives you 3. That's what does this. So if you go like this to previous, you see down there, that's what gives you this. That gives you this. And so when you hit it, it calls the actual URL, which is boom. It calls it, look, it gives you the 3. Now it gave you the 3rd one. So you could be number 1. You could be, maybe I can bring this down a little bit so you already know what I'm talking about. This is number 1. Right? You got number 2, you got number 3, you got number 4, 5, 6, 7. If you go back to number 1, see how it jumps there. If you go back to the last one, it jumps to the last one. But you can go up to the next one, to 6, to 5, to 4. I'm going to put it on there. I'm going to do that for you. I'm going to put it in there. Okay, so that way you can see it, and that way you don't get confused. I'm going to show you something on the actual AJAX one, which gives you sentences, just so you can see what's going on, right? But basically, this is it. This is basically it. The program goes in, it calls itself, and it does this calculation. It keeps calling itself, and since it keeps calling itself, it's going to do this guy right here. And this is what does this calculation for you. See, it calls at the beginning. Remember I told you that I wanted to get a number, right? Like 28, because you got 28 records, you're going to get 28. And what happens is over here, it breaks it down, 28 divided by 4, right? That will give you 7. Then this becomes a 7. So now when it reads the thing, so oh yeah, is this set? Remember I told you before, when you put when you have a button, or you press that, or if you have forms, it creates an array. This is what it does. It checks to see if it was set. And it is, because once you keep doing that, see this right here, it came up and went into the memory, it is set. That's what that means, really. And then you take that number and then you subtract by 1. That will be your pages. Because we're doing 0 index and it jumps over, it gives you an offset of 1 over. So what you do is you take the -1 just to move it back up to the normal. Otherwise, this, if you would have taken this out, matter of fact, let me see if I can do it. Let me see. Where are we? Right here? Let's say we do. Let's take that out for a second. And let me see. And then you call this. Let's get rid of this crap. Oh my god. This thing is just. Oh man, my frustration every time, man. Okay. So as you can see, 1, 4. So you go to 2. It jumped out to 9 and 4. You know what I mean? So what happened to the other one? And it jumps in. So, but by doing number 1, let me see. It would be 1. This will be 1. See? See what I mean? How it kind of screws things up. That's why you got to put that -1 because it's offset. This will set it to the right numbers. It's like you get the actual range. So you need to put that -1 in. Let's save this guy. And boom, here it goes. See, you give you the right correct, everything will be correct. So then what happens? You take that start and you put it over here. Start, and this will be 4. So if you got that number that's calculated, it'll be here. 2, and then I want 4. I want 4. So it'll calculate like. So if you went to 2, it'll calculate 4. It'll calculate 4, but I want 4. I'll show you that in the AJAX. I'm going to show you some stuff. You're going to be like, that's what he meant that when I was talking about just the normal way. And that's what it is. Now the limit means that I just want to give a limit of it. That's it, just a range. That's what that limit was, which I forgot to mention before, I think. And then this, of course, the prepare statement is a secure way of doing it. And you execute the thing, and then you get the fetch. Oh, remember the fetch? Completes the fetch. Make sure you close it up because you're going to be using it again. It fetches it to this guy, and then and that's it, and it becomes an array. Now I put this in here before because in reality this is kind of what this is. It'll do the same thing. But what is in the background? What's being sent? I mean, this, because it's an associated array. Just fetch this associated array. Anyway. As you go to here, let's see, blah, blah, blah. Where are we? Right here. Okay. It breaks down everything. Now this guy here, from here to here, and you say, wait a minute, where's the? I mean, I see the previous. This is your when you first start. Let me let's get rid of this for a second. I wonder what happened to my partner. He sit over here. He was supposed to be training with me. See how it disappears? Really, can't got nothing. Oops, sorry. So what happens is, what it does is, it says, oh, is this? Do you have a page number and a page number greater than 1? We don't. So what happens is, it gives you this. And as you can see, I put a style of, like gray out, like this, gray out, right? So when you do copy something, you're going to see it highlighted. So I go like this. See how it highlighted it? So what happens is when you do that, you code itself. Now it goes back up to the file itself. Does all this again. Then it says, oh yeah, you did set it. It is greater than 1. Give me this. Give me this. And of course, you're making it. And where is it? I think I forgot where I put it. It doesn't matter. This is the CSS stuff. You're gonna see it somewhere. Same thing with the law. See, the last one was give me the last page. Now we already know that the total was 7 pages because you got it from here. Where is it? Right here. See? This certainly means that if you get like 5.6, just move it up to 6. You know what I mean? That's what that means. Anyway, so since you already assign that value to this variable, you're using it, right? You're using it, and now you're using it here. Why? You don't have to do all kinds of calculations together. You just get the last one because that's what we want, the last one. It's the same thing with the first one. See how easy it is? Same thing with the first one. First one is, oh, I'm going to just send you 1. Page 1, because it is the first one. Page 1 is the first one. So if I went like this, boom, it's the first one. when you start this whole thing, it already knows that it's that first one. Let me see. See, it didn't change. It's the first one. But when you want previous, you have to do that calculation. And if you want, what is it? Next, the same idea. You send this the next. It's going to say, oh yeah, it's set. If it's not set, please give me this next. That's what that is. And next will be 2. That's just a thing. But you know, if it is going to be set, so now you come here to else, and then from else you're going to add this else. This is the closing of this else. But within that, within this, you got this whole thing right here. Right here, which happens to be this. Don't get confused. I broke it down like this. I gave you spaces so you can see what I'm talking about. And that's what gives it to you. See? Look, +1. Once you hit next, let's say you're like right here. 5, you're going to say next, and you're going to get 9, and you're going to say next. Same thing, 13, and all that. So what happens is when you do that, it calls this up, and then from this page number, which happens to be this here, this is 5, the next one is going to be, this is 4, the next one is going to be 5 once it comes in here. It's going to say, oh, please add the 5 into this page, and that will be your next one. So when it reads it, it's going to go to 5, what is it, next, see, 5, and then you get your the next page, which is the 5th page. That's all it is. That's all. This is the whole thing. The whole thing. And of course, you know, remember I told you the total pages when you got, what is it? Right here. When you did the, what is it? Where is it? See the total results? You fetched it. Remember it's the associated array. So what happens at that bottom part of it, that's what you see. This is what this is right here. At the bottom part, you're going to see that, oh, okay, here it goes. This is the total, this is the actual array, and I want to go for each one of those things, like the ID, name, and all that. I want you to put it in under dollar. This is just a placeholder. That's all it is. You just create a placeholder for that. And so when you call it, this is what you call. You say $tot, which should be total, right? And then of course, since everything is an array, it's an associated array, as you can see. Where is it? Right here. It's an associated array. Then you're going to call it like this: ID, name, and price. 2 means that, see the number format, just make it a number format. It'll be a name, says .2, that means you're going to have a dot and 2. So like you got $100 and it costs, something costs you 100, and I'm not going to show you. See, like right here, something costs $600, so this one, 3 for $35, $50. Please show it like this. Show it like this. Because sometimes when you do these prices, you get a whole bunch of numbers and stuff. Just show, I just want this. I just want .2, 2 numbers. That's it. And that's what this is. That's all it is. That's it. This is it. That's how easy this thing is. So I'm going to put it in the description. You know, we kind of reached the bottom of this whole video. Because, you know, I mean, how much can I do? Just again, the limit, because I kind of messed up and not mentioned in the last video, I think it was. Sometime, I forgot what it was, this right here. This is the clause, right? So what happens is, and in SQL, the SQL itself, it uses to control the number of row returned. That's all it is. In a query string, and the query results is this. This is the query string right here. For the dollar, for that, what is that, question mark and all that? That's the query string. That is what's considered a query string. And it is a particularly, you know, like useful when you're working with large data sets, you know, that allows you, you know, to, you know, retrieve only the required number of rows. Like to analyze or to print or whatever it is that you want to do with that. You know what I mean? And in this case, we just want to display it. And that's how it is. This is all it is, man. It's an array. Easy to, you know, when you do the, I wish I could show you how associate, well, you know what an associated array. looks like. I've done that before. I mean, it's pretty easy, you know. Maybe on the other one, I'll probably mention it just so you can kind of see what it looks like. I mean, you know, when you do that associated array, you know how you normally do the associated array has like a in a bracket, you got like a name, and you got that little rocket, and then the ID, the what is that? The value, comma, and then again, that's the associated array. But the regular way of an array is zero index. It returns an array indexed by like the column name and the result sets of that whole thing. So now, you know, there are things like let me see, like over here that says fetch hyphen both. That parameter returns an array index by the both column name and zero. Kind of gives you, so if you wanted to print that whole thing like using that, remember how we did that one time? We used, I'll show you another time, but you know, I'm pretty sure to give it the zero index column number and you'll see it. And that's what that is. But right now we're using the associated array, which is kind of cool, you know. Maybe on the next video I'll mention that two things. I'm saying, remember the last video you mentioned about the associated array and the regular array, and you wanted to show me what it looks like. I'll give you what it looks like on the next video, okay? And then we can keep going on to our main event, which is the actual using this technique. The same thing, you're going to get the same thing, but you're not going to get this. It's going to always be this. And the moment you hit these buttons, hit out. Okay, let's go like this. The moment you hit these buttons, you're not going to see anything here. You know why? Because when you hit this button, it's going to go into the script. It's going to say, hey, there goes AJAX. And the AJAX itself, which is going to be pointing to this little spot here, the AJAX itself is going to call another program, which happens to be the, where is it? Well, this one actually. This right now is nothing. It's just a little piece of something. That's it. That particular AJAX is file, which I'm going to include it in the description. It's going to give you a lot more, and it's going to show you how AJAX works. And the actual, this file, right down here, I will be putting it like right here, some kind of script with the AJAX syntax, and then from there the AJAX syntax is going to call a file which will look something like this and do the calculations and then copy it here automatically. See, right now we're jumping from pages to pages. You saw how that moved, but the AJAX, you're not going to do that. It's going to be more like, let me see if I put this down a little bit. Let me see, 6. Okay, let's go like that. If I see how it didn't jump, but it actually is jumping. That's because I got this down like that. See, you go like this, 3, you got 4, you got 5. It's actually calling itself several times, and in this case, it's going to call itself 7 times. Okay, in the previous and the third, it'll call itself, because you're using this thing, it'll call itself, what's that, 7, 9, 10, 11 times. But with AJAX, you press all these buttons, and all you're going to do is get the same results, but it won't move. It just stays still. I'll show you that on the next video. Anyway, we reached the bottom. I don't want to go too crazy. If you did find that you enjoyed it and that I did a better job this time, can you give me a like, subscribe, or give me a comment, see what I can improve. Anyway, on the next video, it's going to be the same thing, but it's going to be AJAX that's controlling that whole thing. Thank you very much.